Hello, my name is Bruce Barclay and I'm a student here at JTech Automotive Technology School, and today we're going to talk about the components that you're going to find in the head of a cylinder head. This is going to be a 5-part video, and for the first part I'm going to go through the components and identify what they are and offer a brief explanation for what they do. First of all, this is our intake cam, and on here we have our cam lobes. This is a fuel pump lobe. We have our bearings, where our camshaft bearings ride, and then we have this here is a toner ring, which tells our computer what position the shaft is in. This here is this gear allows for variable valve timing through the oil ports that are in here, and it basically allows the cam to advance or retard itself when it's slowing down. And this cam here is our exhaust cam, and it fits in here like this, and it has the same features. It's got lobes, got places for oil to enter the bearings for it, and it's got a timing gear as well, and it meshes with this through a chain. And then we have our bearing caps that are installed in here. We have, this is called a bucket, and you can pull them out by hand. Sometimes you'll have shims inside here, and then here is our valve and our valve spring and our valve spring retainer, which is down inside here. And I have a valve removed from this engine or from this head already, so I could pull those parts out and show them to you individually and get it out of the bag. Okay, so this is our valve, and it has several parts on it. Like this part right here is called the valve margin, and this is the valve stem, and this is where the valve stem keeper locks into place. This is our bucket on the inside, and like I said, sometimes there's shims inside here. This is our valve stem retainer, and it fits on the valve like that. And then inside here you can still see these two little pieces. Those are the keepers, and what they do is they lock into the valve and hold the valve into place under spring tension, and then your bucket will go on top of it. And the cam actually rubs on the bucket and pushes the valve up and down, or it pushes the valve down when it needs to, then the spring will lift it back up. So that's what's on top of this. This is the intake side of the head. This is the fuel rail, where the fuel comes in with our 3 fuel injectors. This is a direct injected engine, so the fuel is directly injected into this into the compression chamber. On this side of it is where our exhaust ports are, and this is basically where the exhaust gases will come out and they'll get processed. I'm going to flip the head over and talk about what we see here. Okay, on the bottom of the head, notice we have large valves and smaller valves. And that was a valve that was removed. This is a valve seat right here. And these valves here, the larger valves, are your intake valves. And the smaller valves are the exhaust valves. This is our spark plug hole right here and here and here. And right here is where the fuel injector is, and it shoots the fuel right into our cylinder head. This type of cylinder head is known as it's very similar to a hemispherical type in construction. Here we have our little places where the water will get up into the head and cool the head off, and there's a place where oil does that too. I believe it's right there. And that's basically all the components that you'll find on a cylinder head, and stay tuned for what's happening for the next segment of my video. Thank you.
All right, you can go.
So it's Bruce Barkley again, coming back to you for step 2 of our 5-segment video. This segment is going to be, it's called how to leak test a head. Basically what you're going to try to do here is you're going to try to see if you have all of your valves are working correctly, if they're seated correctly. And all we got to do is put water in there, and then we're going to use compressed air, and we're going to blow in there, and it should bubble if we have a leak. Okay, we had bubbles in here. That means we need to pull that valve out and do a procedure on it to get it to quit leaking. But anyway, one more time with the test. Yep, we've got a leak there, see it? Yep, actually both of those valves are leaking. They're both intake valves, so we have to pull both of those valves out and clean them up and make them not leak anymore. So thank you for watching this segment. We'll be right back. Okay, this is part 3 of the video. We found out we have a leaky exhaust valve when we did our pressure test, with our air pressure test. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that valve out, and we're going to inspect the surface of the valve margin and valve seat on the other side of this. So this is how you remove the valve. This is one way you can do it. There's a couple of different ways. This is one way. Maybe sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. But first thing you want to do is you want to pull your cap off, or your bucket. This is a bucket. Pull it off. Then you want to take a deep socket and place it on the back of the valve, like so. All right. And you take a hammer and you give it a good whack. And what's supposed to happen is the valve retainer will drop down below where the valve keeper is, and the valve keeper will separate, and you'll be able to pull the valve out. So let's see if this works. This isn't working, and the reason why it's not working is because this hammer is not heavy enough. I'm not able to deliver hard enough flow to compress the spring to release it. So I'm going to try it again without the extension in place. Yeah. I don't. The hammer isn't heavy enough.
You gotta have something on the bottom of your valve to stop. If you're just pushing the valve down and it's coming right back up. You gotta set this on the flat surface and have something. You need a rag on the other side of the valve to hold the valve still while you hit it. Because otherwise the valve is going up and down. You want the valve to stay still while the spring goes in.
No, use the hammer. Try it. Get the extension. With the extension. Put it on the thing, and then you want to give it a good smack. Hit it wide. Good. About 12. What size is that?
It's a 16, 14 probably.
Okay, that worked, but it made kind of a mess. The keepers went flying, and I don't know if I'm happy about that. But anyhow, here we have our valve retainer. We've got one of the 2 keepers here. There's our spring, and we're going to push the valve out. Now, something I'd like to show you, if you want to come back here. down inside there, this is a valve seal, and underneath that is a valve guide. So I wanted you to see these two components here now that we've exposed them, and that's basically the things I wanted to point out is that we've got a valve guide and a seal down in here, which can be when you're rebuilding a head, you want to replace these parts or at least inspect them. Okay, other than that, this is the end of this segment of the video. Thank you. Hey, this is Bruce Barclay with JTech Automotive Technology School, and today we are going to take out a valve out of this cylinder head. First thing you want to do is rig up this tool. It removes and installs valves. Place this on your onto your valve retainer and push down, and then your keepers will be able to be pushed out of spot, and then you remove the tool, remove the spring, remove the keeper, and the second keeper is out, and then you basically roll your head up a little bit, push the valve, and that's how you remove a valve out of a cylinder head. Thank you very much for watching this segment of the video. This is the next segment of the video. I'm Bruce Barclay with JTech, and we've got our exhaust valve removed. I want to talk about a few parts of it. This is the valve face, this is the valve margin, this is the valve stem. The valve guide rides here, and back here is where you'll find your keeper lock, where your keeper locks in at. What we want to do, what our problem is with the leak is we've either got some deposits on the back of the margin or deposits on the opening to the valve here. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on smoothing that out. And what we do here is we take some of this compound and smear it around here like this. It's a mild abrasive. It's called valve lapping compound. And then we take the valve and insert it back into its spot. And this is a valve lapping tool. We want to stick it to our valve. And then we use this in the back and forth motion like so. Well, you grind it and grind it and grind it until it feels real smooth to you. And then when you're done with it, you're going to pop it back out. Clean off that grinding compound. And then you'll reinstall the valve, refill this with water, and then run your pressure test again. And you should see no bubbles after that. If you do see bubbles, you need to try that again. If you don't see bubbles, you're good to go. if you do this 2 or 3 times and you continue to see bubbles, then you may need to consider replacing your valve or taking your head to a machine shop and allowing them to resurface your valve seats and the back of your valve. Anyway, thank you for watching this segment of the video. There's still more coming. I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye. Thanks. Okay, so I did that. Okay. Welcome back again. This is another segment. We're getting ready to leak check our valve now. This is the valve that we have we've treated. So what we're doing now is we're cleaning it. We want to clean the margin. Make sure that we get a good seat when we push the valve in. Now you can do this. You can go ahead and fully install the valve and test it, or you can do it this way. Put the valve in, fill the chamber full of water.
A little bit of preparation time.
Some air. And we can hold it in with the finger. Press down on it. See if you got bubbles. And our valve, this valve's looking pretty good. So we're pretty much done with that. We can put that valve back in and then continue on with the work on this engine. For the next video I'll show you will be about how to install the valve. Thank you very much for watching.
I'm hoping that's what it is.
This is Bruce Barkley once again coming to you from JTech Automotive Technology School. Last step of our video here is to install a valve. And I currently have the valve installed in the engine, or in the head. Right. And I'm going to put on this spring retainer. Small end of the spring lines up with the retainer. We go into the hole. And we use this special tool. Comes over, hits the back of our retainer, mash it down. Got a valve keeper here. Put it in these needle nose pliers. Gonna drop it in down there.
That's what I'm saying. It only takes one drop. I ain't saying you got it.
What's up, Cal?
I ain't say that. But
I don't know. What's up, Calvin? Yeah, we don't want no blood dripping all over the park. What's up, Calvin?
Alright.
How you doing, man? You good now? You look like a G now?
you gonna get frustrated because don't nobody want your blood on them.
Not 100%.
50, 75,
Probably 40.
40?
Probably 40.
What you need me? 40%.
You gotta be here, otherwise you're gonna get another 0%.
Barely ticking. Barely ticking.
Okay, got one side in.
Can't afford too many 0%. Take GA back like Martin's ass.
Almost have it there. close.
Okay, cool.
Maybe we need 2 people.
Bill, man, why you didn't tell me that shit don't take but 3 minutes? What's that? For your, for the CCW. I didn't know. Go to the computer, do a little thing? Yeah. I didn't know. I got it. My one was at 4 o'clock. I got there like 2:50. I drove past the fucking building. I was back in my car at 4:09. Oh, really? Yeah. I'm doing that shit out on the computer. Me and my wife did this. I don't remember back in the beginning. I was doing that shit out on the computer. Yeah. And then I,
Okay, now the 2 valve keepers are touching each other. Point the camera at that, please. See how the 2 valve keepers are touching each other? You don't want to leave it that way. So what you do is you put a little pressure on it, use a pick, and you spread it so that you get an even gap in between the 2. And that's it. That's how you install a valve in this cylinder head. Thank you very much for watching the video.